A lot of people have asked me for a kitchen tour, and me and camera person, they've just been doing some filming. So I thought now would be quite a nice time to show you what I've been up to. A lot of the Snack Hacker videos are kind of nostalgia and talking about things that my dad did all the cooking when I was small. And a lot of the recipes are things that I was inspired by when I was growing up, or just straightforward dishes that he's cooked. This is his old Schoberg workbench, which, camera person, if you drop down, you can see there's the old clamps, vices rather. It's got a little cabinet inside. I've got my vac packer, oven trays, my blowtorch. Needs more gas. Sharpening stones. I've got my taco press in there and my Taco King taco warmer that my daughter Zoe, who makes clothes, she made that like a little puppet. Ooh. I put this in just recently, so before, I don't know if you remember, there was I had a smaller workbench and then a bit of table here and a thing there. So I've built these shelves. I've got a geldy lamp. That's like 90s habitat. Got it on eBay for 70 quid and they're worth a lot more. I was lucky find. Shuttering ply. Nicely finished with polyurethane matte varnish. About 8 coats, sanding in between. What have I got on here? This is my Danish bread slicer. Only for doing the very dense Danish rye bread. And you can get very nice little thin slices. A ridiculous number of chopping boards. There's these. This is just some that I've got from car boot sales. I've got the big one there. These ones here, I bought these in a kind of school art supply shop. Sea White of Brighton. They've got a factory shop in a place called Partridge Green. They're the little boards that you do clay work on in school. I just oiled those with a food grade oil, and they make lovely little eating boards or chopping boards. Dansk pan. Oh, didn't know that was in there. That's the world's smallest cake tin. That's a Dansk pan. Got that in New York. Cookbooks that I'm currently mucking around with. This is where the secrets lie. Where do the secrets lie? Within. Look, that's all my recipes. In the back of this, I've got some handwritten recipes from my Aunt Philippa. Apple and almond pudding. Nice old stuff in here. My current just go to, use it all the time, but Modern Pressure Cooking by Catherine Phipps. And seriously, get a pressure cooker, get this book. It will change your culinary life, honestly. Come around here, I made a little trolley on wheels, because this is the workbench, so it's just loose, so we could move this if we wanted to. If we wanted to do a shot coming, from that side, I made it so it fits exactly to the level of the shelves there. So I've made this little trolley where we've got these on and the pressure cooker's under there, and there's more boards, and then a little drawer, just a loose drawer trough that comes all the way out if you want. Under here I've just got a tray. I've got my green tape and my Sharpie, so I can do my The Bear style food labelling. So this is the workbench space where I do most of the cooking. It's a classic George Egg's dad thing. It's a Kenwood chef. I used to try and match the sound when my dad was making mayonnaise in there or whipping cream, or I would try and match the sound of the motor, with the motor going brrr, and I'd sit there on a stool next to it going trying to match the sound. Teas in these, they're like big pills, aren't they? Old Habitat. What a loss when Habitat went. What a sorry day. And if you go to Sainsbury's now and it's Habitat, all they do is like party balloons, and it's just tragic. Coffee grinder, teapots, speakers. This is just a unit I built for keeping all the crockery in. I'm a big fan of having the right glass for the right beer. So if I'm having a vedette, I'll put it in one of those. If I'm having a Bitterburger, it goes in that. A terrine dish. But it's great for doing, you can do one long lasagna and there's just like enough portions in there for 2 or 3 people. The microwave, a Buffalo kind of catering microwave, which frankly looks cool, but it is also a very good microwave, and it doesn't do the rotating thing. There's a confidence there to it. If it doesn't rotate, it's like, I don't need to rotate. I'm an industrial microwave. When I was growing up, my dad had a microwave and he just loved it. And then he was always badgering me to get one. I sort of resisted, like you do with parents, when parents say, you really should do this. And you're like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna live my own life. And then after he died, I bought one and now I love it. That's kind of quite sweet, isn't it? This is the bell. When we were small, we had this bell. And when it was dinner, if we were at the top of the house, my mum or dad would ring the bell and we'd come running downstairs for dinner. But I was always worried when I went to other people's houses and they didn't have bells. And they're going to go, why have you got a bell? It's all weird. And then they'd come round and I would actually say to my parents, when dinner's ready, can you just call us down? Don't ring the bell, because I was embarrassed. An iron, which I use this for doing smash burgers. It's a homage, really, to the first comedy cooking show I did called Anarchist Cook, where I cooked on like electric plug-in irons upside down, talking about how to cook in a hotel room. So it's quite nice that I've got an actual iron that I cook with. More boards. Look, I told you I like breadboards. The cooking theatre. It's a Britannia. It's 20 years old nearly. Double oven, cast iron hob, powerful extractor that takes it straight out, and there's enough space up there for all the other bits and bobs. Lemon squeezer, but I like it. It looks slightly David Cronenberg. There's a kind of horrible film called Dead Ringers, with Jeremy Irons playing twins. I think they're gynecologists and they're a bit creepy and they've got all this very weird sort of, I think the tools are designed by H.R. Geiger, who designed the alien in Alien, and it's kind of got that slightly weird. Anyway, it's very good at squeezing citrus fruit. Coffee makers, get one of these. Potato ricer, it will just make the best mashed potato. Huge fan of Lodge, the American cast iron cookware. Completely non-stick once they're seasoned. I mean, look at that. You could virtually put an egg in there and fry it without any oil. I've got a lot of those. There's a load there. More under here. Lid with the nipples. You get these little nipples, and then it means that when it condenses, it drips down and it bastes everything really evenly. Loads more pans down here. Giant paella. Look at that. Giant paella pans. Griddles. No non-stick cookware anywhere. It's all iron and enamelled iron and heavy gauge aluminium and steel. These down here, one of the best purchases that me and Mrs. Egg ever made. We got them at Debenhams just after we first got married, and they're just really, look at that, look at the rivets on that. Look at the rivets on that, and they've all got handles there, and they're really thick, like copper sandwiched. I would love to be able to show you the pressure cooker that I've put pictures of on my Instagram loads, but it's the one that I broke. I ruined it. I have got this one now, got a Pro Cook, which is great, and then my good friend Martin Odell at Lagom Chef, who I'm sure a lot of people who follow me follow him as well. When he saw I'd wrecked my Clipso, he bought me another one, and it's actually upstairs because I didn't have space for it down here because it's a 9 litre, it's massive. The knives, there we go, knife rack. One of the Clement knives, recycled. That's all recycled Knox canisters, you know, laughing gas. Recycled plastic handle, just plastic that he finds on the beach near where he lives in Scotland, and melts that and makes the blades, and they've got this cool little skull. A lot of Polaris Solsona knives, and I love them. They're really cheap, good carbon blades, boxwood handles, and yeah, just some nice shapes. Shall we look at the larder? Let's look at the larder. Love the larder. There's a great company called Bouse Brothers or Bouse Brothers. They deliver, you can subscribe and then you get different hot sauces all the time, but they sent me a load. I mean, it's just, you know, it's tins, and I get very excited when I go to the supermarket and I kind of buy too many ingredients and then have trouble using them. But I do get through them, and I tell you what I've got really good at in the last few years, and that's not throwing ingredients away. Chilies that my daughter grew and dried out, tied up and dried out. Still using those. They're a couple of years old and they're so brittle, but they're like really hot. More Lodge pans, nice little square one, great for doing tiny Japanese omelettes. Melting potty one, and that's lovely for if you make gravy and you can serve it at the table in that. Cloche. More pans up here, loads more frying pans, and a lot of these black iron as well, which is, it says black iron, but it's not actually, it's steel, but it's just seasoned, not non-stick. Drawers, there's the sink, toaster, coffee maker, and then the fridge is in. I don't know if you watch any of the Zero Waste Cooking School, but Douglas McMaster had a fridge that I liked, and I got in touch with him and said, what fridge have you got? And I got the same fridge. Gorenji, German, but it's just a nice big larder fridge, no freezer compartment. The Bear style, you know, labelling. Loads more pans down here. Block Customs grill, a lot more oven trays. The Pit Boss, it's a big cast iron, great for doing a big mac and cheese or, you know, or macaroni cheese if we're being English. The tip of the iceberg of my collection of toasted sandwich makers, but we'll do that another time. That's enough for now. So that's the Snack Hacker kitchen, where the magic happens.